Hello, this is Kedhrin, creative director at Ilphonic, and I am going to show you today some of the core mechanics and strategies to use while playing the game Nexuiz. Just before we get started, just know this is a PC build, work in progress. It does look a little bit different than the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 version of the game, and I am also playing with a mouse and keyboard. But, you know, I am not the best, as I'm sure some of you will troll me for, and I am even worse on a controller, so I'm definitely not playing with that. But just please know that any of the kind of techniques and strategies I'm using on the mouse and keyboard are just as effective on consoles. Just, you know, it just kind of matters how good you are with it. So what I'm going to tell you about is the core mechanics of Nexuiz. First off, the biggest and most important thing is the fact that the speed of the game is pretty fast. Other than other arena FPS games you may have played, you may think the speed's drastically faster. One of the most important things to keep in mind with Nexuiz is the camera is higher off the ground than previous arena FPS games, so a lot of the speed does seem like it's a little bit slower, but as you can tell when playing against other guys running on the screen, the speed's about the same. One of the most important strategies, of course, with arena FPS games, and it's still the same within Nexuiz, is pogo jumping. And pogo jumping literally is you hold down space and you gain velocity with every jump. And this is really important to do, and you can pretty much guarantee you want to play the game the whole time while holding space down, because it makes you move faster, avoid shots, and harder to hit as well. Other than that, we got, of course, with rockets, we do have rocket jumping, which is, of course, one of the most important strategies in arena FPS. On consoles, we do have a button that isn't mounted by default, but you can set it up in the custom control configuration to use what's called a rocket jump look, where you look down on the ground and then straight ahead real quick, almost just like this, and works great. Okay, now what I really wanted to do after that is kind of go over you real quick before I get into mutators, is weapons, and show you kind of the strategies to use with each of the weapons you can find throughout Nexuiz. Let's go ahead and start up here with the Hager. This little gun is kind of shoots small little rockets. It's really fast. Not too much splash damage, but definitely is pretty devastating, especially if you got like a strength fire or you're bombarding a room full of guys. The alt fire on this gun makes a ricochet shot, so it bounces once and hits somewhere else in the map. This kind of modifier is only really useful if you have, like, some of the maps have like a CTF or a flag room. Vendors are going to be hovering around the flag, so you want to maybe stand from the outside, just bombard inside the room, so kind of kill some of them real quick. The Ravager is kind of just like a straight machine gun. It's pretty good. I think one of the most important things to know is with the alt fire is it does like this kind of very accurate, slower shot. So you won't want to do that if you're kind of far away and you want to. So I'm probably gonna die. Sorry, but this is good for headshots far away. I'm gonna lose all these weapons. Everyone died on the map. Kill log's not working on this build, and of course you can see other issues. Clan Cutter. This gun is kind of like a machine gun in a way. Also, it shoots like really fast little plasma cells throughout the map. The most important thing to realize with this is every single one of these do have a little bit of splash damage, so you don't have to necessarily be insanely accurate. Get some ammo here. The alt fire on it just kind of shoots a cluster of the cells, so if you're really close to somebody and you shoot them with this cluster, they're pretty much guaranteed to die, but I suck at aiming, clearly. Another thing, I don't know if I even mentioned that, but there is melee with every single gun, so if you get near somebody, you can melee them. It's a really important strategy in Nexuiz. Makes it new for arena FPS games as well. Melee is no longer something that's used for humiliation. Instead, it's actually useful. So, of course, the Nex is kind of like the sniper rifle. It's a scope. Scope isn't really useful, I would say. mostly because the game's so fast-paced that I don't know. I don't really see it being used too much. Maybe in like some of our longer distance maps, like bigger and things like that, I can see some players using it a little bit more. Shotgun, of course, is your starting weapon. You got pretty big spread on that, and all fire just kind of shoots one, very precise. It's good, of course, for headshots. The Electro is kind of like a mix between the rocket launcher and the mortar gun, where it kind of shoots a slow-moving, big plasma energy, the pretty high splash damage radius. The alt fire shoots almost like a mortar, but the big thing to remember with this one is the fact that it will stick to targets. So you can stick somebody, and after a while they'll detonate. Shoot to that guy. Bad armor. Let's see. Mortar should spawn right here. My favorite personally is the Nex, because one-shot kills, you can land headshots, are always welcome. Mortar is pretty good. The most important thing to remember with it is the alt fire splash damage radius is a little bit higher. The reason why is because the primary fire detonates on impact. The alt fire will allow you to spam an area with bouncing projectiles. It's really useful for, again, taking care of guys that are sitting around a flag room and camping it out. Alright. The rocket launcher, of course, is one of the most important weapons in the game. Not only is it one of the most powerful munitions, it's really useful because you can control it in midair and detonate it at any time with the alt fire. So it's really important for clearing out, like if someone's around a corner, I can control it, detonate it, pretty high splash damage radius. This weapon is very important to get really good at. Not only can you rocket jump the highest with it, it's just really powerful. And of course the only downside is the splash damage is so large that if you're using it in close quarters, you're going to really hurt yourself a lot. We do of course reduce the amount of damage done to yourself so you can do things like rocket jump. Okay, I believe I covered, Crylink. Crylink is kind of like a shotgun as well, except it uses cell energy also. Every single time you shoot one of these, projectiles bounce. The alt fire is kind of a more wide spread of them. It's really useful. Get a direct shot real close with this one, you're probably going to kill somebody. Each one of these also have splash damage, so if you can shoot at someone's feet, it's generally the best strategy to use with this because you get splash damage on that second damage. You can really spam an area full of this, and of course be careful with that because you don't want to, hurt yourself like I just did, or kill your teammates, and it will also lower your accuracy rating and your stats. Alright, so that's pretty much all the weapons. Immediately go into the dynamic mutator stuff I had up on the screen in the bottom right hand corner of the screen this whole time. So dynamic mutators, there's 100 of them, and they are split up into 4 different core types. There's ones for yourself, one's for everybody, one's for your team, and one's against the enemy team. These are really important to strategize with. They do randomize every time you pick them up. This little pickup here in the environment. Run over that, and you'll get a call. Of course, I have some up, so they didn't draw me some new ones. So let me go ahead and call one of these. Strength is a power-up that spawns on the map normally, but you can use it through a dynamic mutator as well. You can tell what type it is because of the background it has. If you look on my left side of the screen, bottom left, you can see the enemy team has a mutator currently active that is hidden from my view. That's why it has the dynamic mutator icon. I can't tell what it is, but they are using it. So if I use the ones with white backgrounds, that affects myself. The ones with yellow backgrounds affect everyone. So if I call in strength, I'll now all of a sudden get strength, which is a damage multiplier, and it will hurt everybody really bad. That comes across me. I'm running out of time. Alright, so you saw strength. I did a little cut there because the last match just ended. So I'm going to put these two videos together. So I have another one. Right here in the bottom right, I have magnetism, which pulls items towards me. Regens to everyone one, where everyone's health regenerates faster. And infinite ammo, which is also an everyone one, which is infinite ammo. Again, you can tell what type they are by the yellow and white backgrounds. It's one's for yourself, and one's for everybody. So I will go ahead and call in magnetism myself with a white background. Let me try to... Okay, evil summon. You can see it's an enemy team one because it's a blue background. I'm on the red team, so the enemy team is always going to show up as the opposing color of whatever team you're actually on. So evil summon will grab all the enemies towards me and bring them to my location. This is really useful, especially if someone's chasing your flag carrier, camping a room, or if you want to be an asshole and jump over a gap and drop all the guys in the pit into an environment or something. Take them off with you too. That's always pretty fun. Okay, well, someone on my team just called in Team Locator, which is a team mutator, which, you know, I can now see where everyone on my team is throughout the map. Draws kind of the location on top of everything in the world. Alright, so a bunch of people now have a whole bunch. These bots are calling them crazy amounts. Body boom, everyone will explode. You can see in the bottom left there's an everyone active. Everyone will explode on dying. There is one for our team, team location, and we have one called on the enemy team, grounded. Then I can call on one for myself, like invulnerable, and now you have four dynamic mutators active, which you know, which leads into what we talk about the possible combinations. There's a ton. So now I can even call in slow fire on the enemy, and things get really crazy when you have four more mutators going at one time. Alright, so that is some of the basics to do with Nexus. I look forward to seeing how you guys create some of your own strategies with the dynamic mutator loadouts and finding exploits and breaking the game for my enjoyment or hate, whatever you guys prefer.